Whilst the MP for Norton, Samuel Ablakwa, says questions about foreign presidential trips is an issue of accountability and not security. He was responding to the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Bryan, who says foreign presidential trips should be classified as a top secret. Before we bring you his comment, listen to Bryan, who argues that the use of chartered flights by the president borders on national security and should not be discussed on the floor of Parliament.
National security matters. What it costs to protect you, what it costs to put the 40,000 police people on the streets to protect you, what it costs to put the military to protect you, what the sovereignty of the state, what it costs to put the immigration people at our borders, what it costs to put to secure you and the president are not matters that you can just wave that these are hard times and therefore we should let the president take throttle. You can't lift the conversation to this level. And I'm saying that, yes, we can do politics about a lot of things, but when it comes to the security of the state, the security of you and I, the security of the president, presidential travels, we shouldn't lift it to the president is bathing in air, and when you are pounding fufu, the president's water, the rainwater that is coming. I mean, this is so elementary, and we're treating it as a joke. And people are running with it because of our understanding of security. And I'm saying that and if anybody in the security setup will listen, they should reclassify, if they have not already done so, they should reclassify all this information to top secret, which means that you and I cannot have access to it. At a certain time, they can declassify it and we can have access to it. Aircraft or the type of vehicle are not matters that we can discuss in the public domain. Bear in mind that these aircrafts, presidential aircrafts, they fly at 13,000 feet above sea level. The highest probably they go, because of their size, maybe about 20. They don't reach the 39,000, 40,000 feet above sea level that commercial aircrafts fly. So we have to be sensitive. If the president decides that today I need to make a quick trip to Sierra Leone, I need to make a quick trip to Mali, even if he decides to go with a presidential draft, using flight tracker, you know that this is a tail number of Ghana's presidential flight, and you are able to track it. Is that how we want to expose our president to? And if in the event that we need to get either a private arrangement, a private jet, or any other arrangement, it should be one that is equipped that the president can function when he's even in the air. And this is standard presidential fleet arrangement. The president, when in the air, still should be able to function as a head of state. So the cost, the number of people that go on the aircraft, what is contained, the security arrangement, and all those things are not matters that can be even discussed on the floor of Parliament.
Well, Samuel Ablakwa accused Bryan of undermining the powers of the Speaker, insisting the minority will ensure the National Minister, Security Minister, is summoned before the House to respond to the question. He also said Bryan has breached the standing orders of Parliament, arguing this is a matter of accountability and not security.
Now, yesterday we heard from the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee claiming that he has advised the National Security Minister not to respond to the question. First of all, we want to make the point very clearly that that statement is an affront to Parliament. It is an undermine of the authority of the Speaker of Parliament. Order 66.1 of our standing orders is very, very clear. And for the avoidance of doubt, I want to read that provision. Order 66.1 provides, Mr. Speaker shall be the sole judge of the admissibility of a question. So no member of Parliament, no other person than the Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Speaker, admits a question. And the question in issue will relate to the President's May travels to Belgium, France, and South Africa. It's a question that has been duly admitted by the Speaker. It does not lie in the mouth of the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee to advise the minister, who only last week was expected to respond to that question. And you know the history. After weeks of government, prevaricating and pussyfooting, the finance minister came and told us that he doesn't have the full, he's not seized with the information on the cost of the travels, and that we should go to the national security minister. The national security minister was eventually programmed to respond last week. The national security minister sent a statement to Parliament, communication to Parliament, that he has had to travel. And so we'll be seeking another convenient time to come respond. At no point did the national security minister indicate that the information on the cost of the president's travel has been classified as top secret. And so he will not respond to the speaker's summons to come answer our question. So we want to state clearly that the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee is totally out of order. He is arrogating to himself powers that he does not have. He must stay clear of the speaker's authority under Order 66(1).
Let's go to Zoom now and speak to security analyst Dr. Ishmael Norman. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us on Joy News Prime. There's been a back and forth on this. Now we're at a point of classification. Do you agree that the president's travel detail should be classified as top secret and treated as such?
Both men are correct. The presidential travels are both a matter of accountability, but it's also a matter of national security. Okay. The convention in most countries in the world is that they don't disclose the amount of money that is spent on a particular trip by the president. You will not get that figure from the United States, the most transparent democratic country in the world. You won't get that from Premier Johnson in UK. And so the argument, they have to work around it. And normally, this kind of conversation takes place behind closed doors because, yes, it is a matter of national security. It is the brand. The president is the encapsulation of the brand of Ghana. Mm. You can't have him, kidnapped somewhere or whatever. And we have to be careful about how we approach these issues because the issue is not sticking to President Akufo-Addo. The issue sticks to the position of the presidency. So whether it's this president or future president, this issue will become valid discussion over and over again. So the best approach is discuss whatever monies that are involved behind closed doors. The budget will have a consummate figure. Okay. For example, Buhari this year will spend $6 million to travel overseas. But we do not know the details of the amount of money he's going to spend. So far this year, President Biden has spent $3 million going from the White House to Delaware to his houses. Okay. President Trump spent $2.4 million going from the White House to Mar-a-Lago, where his hotel is. So how he spent the money, and that is not the cost of Air Force One or Marine One. That is the cost of security details around these men. So it is truly a matter of national security. And we cannot put the details of it to the average Joe Manson to know. Yeah. Yes, it is unfair that the president may travel, an expensive aircraft, but whether he goes with chartered flight or national owned flight, it is the same issue. Yeah, but Dr. Norman, cannot be discussed.
Dr. Norman, you're giving us figures from other countries, from the US, from Nigeria, our neighbors, for instance. These figures are known and you have access to them, for instance. Why can't we know or have some figure, a total figure of how much the president is spending on these travels? So how do you balance that, issue of accountability as against issues of national security?
Oh, I'm sure the budget definitely will have a quantum of money that the president will spend on international travel. Ghana budget should have that. Otherwise, then how do you finance those trips? So the budget would definitely have it, but it shouldn't be available to everybody. You know, I'm a conservative analyst when it comes to security. You know, so I think the argument should be maybe the president is traveling too much. For example, the Chinese premier, Xi Jinping, has not traveled since COVID broke in 2020. 600 days. We're talking about 1 year and 7 months. He's gone nowhere. Even on climate change conference in Glasgow, he did it by Zoom. Okay. So the discussion should be, why do our president have a need to travel so much? When a powerful country like China, richer country like China, the premier does not travel. He does everything by Zoom, including international diplomacy. So that is where the conversation will be, because that will be more constructive than going against the convention. Presidential travel cost is not for public consumption. It's not for public discussion.
Very well. Thank you very much, Dr. Acheampong Norman, for joining us on this very controversial issue. I guess it comes down to the issue of having a policy that will guide this going forward. Now, Dr. Norman, just before you go, should the cost of the presidential travel be classified as top secret? I guess that is the new nomenclature that has been introduced in this conversation.
I think Honorable Bryan Acheampong has been a little bit protective and exuberant. I don't think that the quantum of money to be spent is a top secret, because it's a burden on the national purse, and Ghanaians have a right to know. However, the details per trip should not be available to the public. Very well.
We're grateful that you could join us. That's security analyst Dr. Acheampong Norman. And we have been gauging your views on this issue. Should the issue of the president's foreign travels be classified as top secret? You have been reacting on Facebook. Let me bring you some of those comments on our Facebook wall. We put that there, and some of you have been commenting on our Facebook wall. We'll bring that to you shortly. Also, we hit the street of Accra to speak to some of you on this latest development, and you have been speaking to us. But first, let's go to Facebook, and Selassie Chifeje says, so we citizens shouldn't know where our father goes. We can't even know how he's faring, including his safety, as well as how much we spend on him. Modra says the OG is pimping the presidential jet, and you are putting here, and you put that here. Well, this country is a joke. Kwanta Masahudu says this kind of characters that are leaders under the mother serpent of corruption in Akufo-Addo is problematic, because most of them are arrogant and lack common sense. And you are quoting Martin Amidu in that comment there. No, Bryan, even the American president movement is known everywhere. Emmanuel says, so asking to know about the extravagant expenses of the president on the taxpayers' sweat too has become security threat. Don't worry, there's a time for everything. And John Baidu says, it can be secret if he has a secret money apart from the taxpayers' money. Who doesn't care where his money goes? And let's take this one from Frederick McDavis. Even the whereabouts of the American president is known. What do your government then in opposition said about John Mahama when he went on leave in Dubai? And as your turn, people are complaining for you to tell us. Okay, so these are some of the views that we're getting on Facebook on this story. But also, you've been speaking to us on the street of Accra. Here are your views on this.
I believe it should be made public. The reason is that he's serving the people. So he should make the people aware of whatever he's doing. Yes, I believe that essentially should be made public. Yes.
Okay, I think Nana Addo have to come out and tell us what is in his mind about the, traveling and everything, because we are Ghanaians. We have to know what is going on in Ghana here. Yeah, we are suffering, so it's good and right for him to come out and tell us everything. in his mind.
Yeah. We are on percent obi be bia ada say bibi wo say bia krono bi nsa ase a bibi wo no ma on percent ba public na nimpa ho ade bia we ya eda ho kan a officer boni bia nim kataso mamuaso bia nim biara no e wo say we ya ma manfo hu say we na wo paso we ye na so far as we ya mampani so e wo say odi ne kura ma wo baga na fo aha nti e wo say nka o ma nyina hu ne e wo ye nti o so bi be ka say ma ye hu ne wo ya na je say bibi wo ho no ma mo mpese mo be ka kire ye ada say krono bi wo baby aha bibi sa.
It's very necessary because as a citizen we have to know how I'll be taxing every month, every year. And so if my money is being used, I have to know the use of the money. So it's very necessary for him to come out with how the money is being used.
So they can make it on public to show that this president is doing well, or if he's hearing some people's concern about the country. So if they say they should bring it, they should bring it out on public to everybody to see.
That one we have to know because it's our tax. It's our duty to know what our money goes. So we need to know. So we need to know how much it costs as individuals. So we need to know. It's a fine idea. Yeah.